Welcome back to Popes and Pylons. Let's play some Crusader Kings III. It is finally time. I know I'm late. I was on vacation for 2 weeks, and Paradox had the tenacity, I tell you, to bring CK3 out in the middle of that. Not that I would probably have gotten preview access, because Paradox has been a bit more strict on how big of a streamer you have, or content creator, I guess, you have to be able to produce CK3 content ahead of time, and I'm not quite that big. So if you smash that subscribe button, of course, that would help a lot with that in the future. Anyway, that's not the point. We can play CK3. I had a bit of a chance to play on the train ride home from my vacation, so I know a little bit about it. And of course, I know CK2 quite a bit. So I hope we can do quite fine. Let's make a new game here. And I've thought a little bit about what our start could be, obviously. I'm not going to do any of the suggested starts and any of the starting setups here. These are only two different world setups, 867 or 1066, but they're different suggested people. That's why there's more buttons up here, I guess. So the question is, do we run 867 or do we run 1066? And I think the 1066 start is mostly the more interesting one. Unless you want to play a very long campaign, obviously, then it's nice to start from the beginning. But technology is a thing. It's different in CK3 than it was in CK2, but it is still a thing, and technology gives options in this game, and I like having some options, something to do. If you have none of the technology, then you're missing a lot of things you can do. And I want to play with things, right? I want to do stuff. So we're going to start in 1066 for this campaign. This is not going to be an achievement run or anything. In fact, it cannot be an achievement run. I'll tell you why in a minute. But just let's call it, let's try getting to learn the game a bit, understand what the differences are, and to see whether we want to run a real campaign for something hard, cool. For now, I'm just going to play as some fun ruler and see if we can have some fun. I'm already going to say the game, I'm going to play CK a bit differently than I play EU. If you're new here, I play a lot of European Universalis 4, and you can find tons of videos on my channel. But in EU4, I'm mostly focused on playing optimally. I mean, I don't play optimally, obviously, but trying to make the best decisions regardless of lore, in-game impact, and all that. Here, I'm gonna try to have at least a bit of character to my characters and not make all the decisions necessarily for the most optimal choice. Maybe for the most fun choice, if there's such a thing. Now, like in EU, you can start CK3 as pretty much anybody on the map. If you don't know Crusader Kings at all, one of the big differences between CK and European Universalis is that you play as a character, or you play as a dynasty of characters. So you will always continue playing as your heir instead of playing as a country. So I can't choose the Byzantine Empire here. I could choose to play as the Basileus Constantinos, 10th of the Byzantine Empire here, sure. And then I would currently have control of the whole Byzantine Empire with all its vassals and stuff. But once I become my own heir, things might be quite different. So we're going to choose a character, not a place. And you can choose, essentially from all of the known world of this time, North Africa, including, is that Central Africa down here? Probably. India, and yeah, I guess all of Asia, right? Is there something missing here? I don't think so. No, probably not. Not a lot, at least. Obviously no America, there's no Australia, none of that business. I think we want to play in the Holy Roman Empire. We are still playing. I'm not stopping my EU campaign. We are still playing in the HRE in our current European Universalis campaign. I kind of want to see what the differences are and whether things play out the same. I thought about playing as the same person. We could be playing as Mulhouse, but we can't quite be playing as Mulhouse. But we could be playing as Sundgau here. Not Emperor Heinrich of the Holy Roman Empire, but if we zoom in a bit more, also not Duke Rudolf of Swabia. I mean, that's a powerful start, obviously. He owns a lot of land. But we could go in all the ways playing as Luis of Sundgau. And I think this little thing up here is Mulhouse. Once we're in the game proper, we will be able to see these individual provinces for each of the holdings in a barony, in a county, so individual baronies, I guess. Right now on the setup screen here we cannot, but I believe this is Malhaus. So this would be the closest we could come to playing as Malhaus, and that's okay. But this guy's French. Not that I have much against the French, but I would be looking to form Schwabia and all that, and then we're French and everybody else is Schwabian, and then we would have to like try and swap around and our culture and stuff. It's possible, it's very doable, but the Frenchness of this person is it's a bit off-putting. And then I thought, why don't I go to the same place I just spent my vacation at? And thanks to Corona, COVID-19, I got to spend my vacation in Germany. And we went down, I think, round about here. Again, we can't zoom in enough, but I think this is Cochem, and I think I spent my vacation somewhere around here more in the hills. The Eifel, as it's called in German. But the Count Udo of Trier here is the closest we can get to a playable person around here. And the nice thing about Count Udo here is he starts with 2 provinces. Now, that is going to be a little bit of an easier start, but it's also going to be a little bit of a quicker and less obnoxious start, hopefully. And since this is our first campaign, I think that's going to be fine. Count Udo is temperate, cynical, and forgiving, which modifies a bunch of his own stats. We're going to see that once we're in game, but also changes events that you can have and opinion of other people. And like in this case, we have fewer piety gained because we're all that cynical. We have a liege, Duke. Who are you? Duke Gottfried here, and Duke Gottfried himself is a vassal of the Emperor. But let's see, we're gonna play as the Nellenburgs here, a very obscure little house. Houses and dynasties are more important in CK3 than they were in CK2. I'm gonna make a tiny little change to the game rules. And somewhere down here there's character nudity, and unfortunately I'm going to turn that to never for the Yaptabs. Now, we cannot enable Iron Man, I don't believe. No, we can enable Iron Man. We cannot have achievements going on. I don't actually know how this works. Thanks to 2 mods I have installed. They're not anything game related. One is character lighting. These were a bit dark in the original. There's a little bit more light to them now with that mod. And the other is a full screen barber shop. Let's just get into the game here for now. I'm gonna leave everything else on normal and jump right into the game. Isn't that great? You just go click, you're in. I love it. The barber shop is normally intended to change the appearance of your character. I'm not interested in doing that at all. But this allows you to pose and change the background of the character. I can even give it a green screen here. Ooh, that's ugly. But what that allows me to do is to try and make some nice pictures for the title screens here. I'm gonna try something a little bit different there. Oh no. But let's get into the game. Count Udo of Trier. We already saw that, temperate, we're cynical, and we're forgiving. We have pretty good learning here. 16 is a pretty good stat. I think it goes up to 20. No, they can be higher. But usually, if you think of it as around 20 as being the max, that's kind of a good one. We're not an intriguous person. Intriguous? A person who knows intrigue at all. Pretty bad at stewardship. We're okay at martial and we're okay at diplomacy. That's not great. We're already married, which is a bit sad because I do like choosing my own wife. And this is not even a good wife. Bad stats, no genetic traits. Genetic traits already were in Crusader Kings II. That could be inherited, but they're a lot more expanded upon in CK3. Oh, and we're not paused. I thought you would start paused. Whoops. Okay, fine. We spent some time doing nothing. It's gonna be fun. So, wait. Okay, apparently we just got married when before the game started. So this is our new wife, even. And we can choose to. I would like to talk more about the game, but hey, we can choose to gain some money or a bunch of prestige. I do like Prestige, and it's a lot more useful here than it is in CK2, but I'm gonna grab the money to start with, I think. Now, am I paused? Yes. Good. Udo. Bad wife, pretty bad stats. Children. I already have children, apparently from a previous wife. Only one of which is male, which is kind of good, because females cannot inherit in the Catholic region, unless there's no male heir. And our son and heir is actually quick. So this is a genetic trait that can be inherited, and this gives +1 to all stats, which is nice. There are better ones, but it's a good start. So we might have a good heir at least. What's going on? Advice and education, I understand. But we have not chosen a lifestyle. So this is new in CK3. According to the 5 stats, there are 5 lifestyles you can follow. You accrue experience in them, giving you access to skill trees, and you get a flat-out bonus from choosing a lifestyle in the beginning. Now, because we have a learning education, so we check here, every character has an education. We're an insightful thinker, it's a learning trait, so we get a bonus to our learning experiences. And we already have this whole of body tree here almost filled out. So we have cheaper physicians, less stress gain, less illness. You will know about your death with resistance to disease. So this is just a make your own character very healthy tree. Yeah, this just gives us more health. And then we can have the whole of body perk, which gives us even more health, less stress, and more fertility. Not a tree I would usually choose. Sure, living long is good, but this is not even a great character. I don't need this character to live that long. However, it's almost completed, so the question is whether it's worth staying on this tree to get this final trait, because these are the most powerful thing. It's not even that good though, it doesn't even give us any stats. I'm very not into it. Maybe later, we could come back to this later when we're a bit older and we want to live longer, maybe. Then we can go and fill this out. You can switch between these. I don't think always, but quite often. I haven't quite found out how that works yet. So we could go for one of the other trees here, end up being a scholar, which gives us a lot of learning. We're already good at learning, and being better at schemes and improving our provinces. We could be a theologian for less learning but more piety, and then all these things on the way, which are not bad, but not that great. And this is probably all about faith. It's called theologian, right? Yeah. I'm not super interested. Yes, we have the 20% bonus here, but I'm not super interested. Early on, honestly, what I'm interested in is expanding. Expanding means war, and the better we are at war, the more we can expand. We get to choose one of these 3 focuses. They're not related to these 3 trees. I mean, they're in... The stats sort of relate to this, but they're not. It's like, if I pick strategy focus, I can still put all the points in gallants, for example. Not a problem. But this one gives us just more martial, which just makes us better at combat. Not personal combat, but army-to-army combat, which is what I really care about. This makes us better at controlling a large empire, and this makes us better at personal combat. And also gives us some actual battle advantage, which we'll talk about later, I think. I feel like I want to go down the strategist tree and have a strategy focus. Yeah. Just make us better at actual warfare, so we can expand a bit, so we can be sort of safe from our neighbors, to then maybe do more character interaction stuff. But I'm gonna skip on character interaction, but the focus will be on what I do best. Expand, exploit, exterminate, explore, you know. Take it or leave it. This is a cool thing. Little helper up here that tells you about things that you might be interested in doing, or that are currently problems. It's telling us that we should maybe fabricate a claim so we can expand. Tells us we don't have enough knights. We can talk about those later. We have a child that needs a guardian. There's an active election, but I'm not going to care about for now. And somebody, my daughter, can marry. Ooh. Marriable daughters are very good. Now she... Am I unpaused again? Why am I unpaused again? Something is off here. How did I... Anyway. My daughter. You. Lubovera. Lubovera? I don't know. Who is a pretty good steward. Not very good otherwise. She's a fortune builder. We can do two things with her, essentially. We could just marry her off to a powerful other ruler. We could say, give me somebody with a lot of alliance power, like the Duchy of Barcelona, for example. Marry these guys, we get an alliance, they're going to defend us in war. Now, Barcelona's a long way away. If they actually have to defend us at war, it will take a while before any troops to arrive. But they should look threatening to others, so that's kind of interesting. Definitely an option. Could marry this guy, she would even get some prestige for it. But, as it's warning us here, children born of this marriage will not be of our dynasty. That's usual for women. In most cultures, I guess. I'm not sure if it's a cultural or religious thing. We could also say we want a matrilineal marriage, so all the heirs will be of our own dynasty, which excludes a lot of people. Now, there's still potential alliances, but mostly counties or even smaller things. People with claims are interesting because your heirs can, or the children can inherit these claims and then maybe do something from it. Obviously somebody that's landed would be nice, but none of these people are landed. Now we can have a quick check whether there's somebody with a nice genetic trait to get into our family. And for example, this Norwegian guy here, he's intelligent, +3 to all stats. That is pretty neat. So we could marry her to Torgil, all children will be of our dynasty, and we might get some nice intelligent children into our dynasty. Also, this guy would join us, who is a very good spy master. So that might actually be quite nice. She's gonna lose a bunch of prestige, but that's gonna be okay for us, I think, at this time. Chance of children medium, so that's about average. It is matrilineal, right? Yes. And they will accept. So we're gonna marry off our child here. It's a bit risky to do this not for an alliance, because we might want some protection. Now, not everybody can attack us here, because we are subject to Duke Gottfried. Everybody who's not under Duke Gottfried's control would have to fight Duke Gottfried for our land, or even the Emperor himself, depending on who they are. But anybody that is also a vassal of Duke Gottfried will be able to attack us, and we'll be able to attack them without anybody else being able to intervene. If we look at this guy here, we say fellow vassal. That means that's somebody we can usually attack without problems. Depends on the realm laws. Depending on the laws, you might be forbidden from doing that, but hopefully we can still do it. Right, guardian for our child here, our daughter. We could do that ourselves so we can make all the decisions. I think that's how it used to work in CK2, and I believe that's how it still works here. However, we're only an insightful thinker. The better your own education trait, the better you are at educating a child. Quick, intelligent, and stuff also will help with it. But if we could find somebody like Theolinda here with a 4 stars, that would help our child a lot more. I believe they're most likely to get the same direction education trait as the one who's educating them. So she'd probably also get learning, which is fine for a woman. It's the only 4-star we have in our court. We could use somebody outside of our court, but that could give somebody power over us, so let's not do that. Yeah, let's have Theolinda here educate our little child. Set proposal. There you go. Now, a few knights is not something we can do much about right this moment. There are things we can do. We have some money, but I don't think I'm going to super care right now. These are our knights, the most individually prolific, combat able, whatever, people in our realm. We do have 2 guests here, one with prowess 10, which is not great, but it's better than anything we have. We could pay him to join our court, to also be our knight. Is he good at anything else? No. Don't think I necessarily want you as my knight. There are other things we can do later. I think we're fine for now here. We have some troops available to us, 703 levies, no men-at-arms, which are essentially, quote, standing troops-ish. So these are just basic people. You go to a village and say, give me your troops, give me your peasants, you fight for me. These are these levies. Men-at-arms are actual professional soldiers-ish. Unlike the retinues in CK2, they don't stay on the map, but you can essentially instantly raise them. I think I do want some men-at-arms, since we have some money and some income, and the combat system is kind of interesting. There are counters, like the light footmen here. They're especially good in forest, taiga, and jungle terrain, and they counter heavy infantry, so they get a bonus when fighting heavy infantry. They also have stats. You look at these: 10 damage, 16 toughness. Pursuit is how much damage you do in the end of combat phase, essentially, and screen is how much damage you protect from in the end of combat phase. So yeah, there are these counters and these effects, but also 10, 16 damage and toughness. And if we look at an armored footman here, 32, 22. It is, ignoring all the counter stuff, they're just way heavier in combat. They do nothing in the pursuit phase. So if you're winning, you're not killing anybody that's running away, and if you're losing, you're not very good at running away, but you're very good at fighting, which these are not. However, they're also much more expensive. Since we're not super rich, I think I'm going to go for archers, because they have been shown to be... the AI has, in my experience, been building a lot of light footmen, and the archers counter them, or skirmishers. Also, we're good at forest, hills, and taiga, but there's not a lot of taiga around here. I think there should be a bunch of hills and forests. I mean, there's a bunch of plains, I guess, too. But, yeah, a bunch of forest and a bunch of areas. The fact that there's a lot of flat land in the areas we might be expanding into, because there are ducals or dukes other subjects, it's a lot of plains. We could try to go for somebody like light horsemen, who are good in plains, drylands, but bad in hills, mountains, and wetlands. There's not a lot of hills here, but they're a lot more expensive. They are not much better at combat. They're a lot more defensive, I guess. They're also a lot more expensive. They're very good at killing people. I think I'm gonna go with bowmen. It seems like a decent start. I'm gonna buy one regiment for now, because I'm not that rich. I'm gonna have to pay them a little bit while we don't have them raised, and we're gonna have to pay them a lot more when at combat. Alright, fabricate a claim. We're almost ready to really unpause. Now, who could we fight? If we look at our liege's stuff, all the stuff in white around here is a theoretical target, although some of it will belong to the actual duke, and we shouldn't attack that. But here, what about Count Gerhard von Aachen? Count Gerhard does have 728, so similar to our troops. It even says similar power. He does not have currently any friends. Does not currently have any friends. He has the 2 counties. He is pretty good martial person, so that's a bit scary. He's a rough terrain expert, advantage in hills, mountains, and wetlands. That should not be much of a problem in all these plains. It's gonna be close fighting him. The Cologne guy, Prince Bishopric. It's gonna cost us piety, I believe, if we fight a Prince Bishop. And he's also more powerful, so let's not go for him. Over here, another Prince Bishop. I didn't realize this was all Prince Bishops. He is not very powerful. Owning Liège and Namur. He only has 436 troops at his disposal, even though he has 2 counties. He's not very good at martial. It's calm, diligent, and temperate. We could try to go for him first. We don't need borders. Then gonna fabricate a claim on Liège, and then see whether we go from there. Unfortunately, I can't do it, at least I don't know how from this screen, but we're gonna have to talk to our council anyway. As in CK, we have 5 councillors, 1 for each skill type. In my experience, it chooses at the start of the game the ones that are most, well, who are the best at their jobs. I'm surprised that this 0 diplomacy guy is my chancellor. That seems, yeah, clearly has not chosen the best at the job. Even if we exclude our guest here, who would be the best diplomat we can get if we recruited him? See, flexible leader, tough soldier, generous, humble, content. Might want to get him in here actually. So why are you my chancellor? My chancellor and knight. You don't have any land. Pretty sure I'd want to get rid of Hildebert now. He's gonna hate me for it a bit, but hey. How much do I have to pay to recruit you to court? 10 ducats. That's fine. Let's get morale in here. Make you my chancellor. Yeah, the other guy's gonna be unhappy. A quick look whether other people... We can't appoint our bishop. That's the Pope's duty. Stewardship. There's only one guy that's slightly better. Who is the mayor of Cochem? Oh, he's already my spy master. Yeah, makes sense. For the marshal, we have the guy we just made our chancellor, but otherwise nobody better. And for our spy master, yes, nobody. Alright, so this is an okay setup for now, I guess. This guy likes us, which means we gain taxes and levies from their holdings. If they don't like us, they will give them to the Pope instead. In CK3, the bishop is the guy making claims, not the chancellor. So I'm going to send him over to Liège. Interesting. Does neighboring reduce the speed? Yes. I mean, it reduce the time it takes, increase the speed. Ah, interesting. Do we go for Aachen after all and try to make that work? Did he have 2 counties? Right, he has Aachen and Maastricht, yeah. Would be much nicer to take Aachen first. Let's try to make that work. You give me a claim on Aachen, please. My chancellor can either, right now, make my vassals like me more, or make my neighbors like me more. Right? No, wait. Fellow vassals? Yeah, right. That's my neighbors, or my other fellow vassals. These are my vassals. Which is okay. Does generate some prestige for us, so we're going to keep him around right now. Stuart can collect taxes. Money is nice. I have, in my little bit of playing, really wasn't much, focused on increasing development. It's somewhat similar to CK, I guess, to EU. Provinces have different numbers of development, and depending on the amount of development, you get bonuses. Like here we get more levies, taxes, and supply. The more development a place has, the harder it is to increase development there. But development spreads. So having a high development place will spread development through the neighboring provinces. We see here plus 0.02 from neighbors, because Cologne is bigger than we are. So I've been focusing on increasing development because it's a long-term investment. And the tax gain seems very minuscule. 5% extra taxes? We could get extra taxes as an event. Let's do this. Let's increase development in Trier. Sure. And our marshal can stay at increasing our levy for now. But we're not going to go to combat right now. So I think actually we're going to go for train commanders. And then when we declare war, we want to switch to organized levies first. And you... I think disrupting schemes, so stopping other people from scheming against me is going to be fine. Anything else? you can... Oh no, we did hire you, so we just didn't unpause. Knights will be fine for now. And that's all we have to focus on, I think. Let's quickly check through the things. We could already increase our authority. And then we can revoke some titles. I'm just going to do it now. I think there's a cooldown. There might be a cooldown on it, and I have the stuff. Let's just go ahead and increase crown authority. And nothing to do with military, really. Counselor. We could have our spouse. So this is our sixth counselor, essentially. She doesn't directly add to skills anymore, like she would do in CK2. But you can have her assist the ruler, and then based on her skills, we just get some stat bonuses. Or we can say assist me in a special area. So I could have much more stewardship here. Only a little more martial, which is the only thing I would actually care for. I think I'm going to stay with assist right now. It's the most general amount of stats, so let's do this. Alright. Anything else? I think we can finally unpause a bit. And you see these circles here on the map? It's progress towards the things we've been doing. So you have a maximum time it will take. There are events that can change time. But generally there's sort of a progress bar, and it's much more predictable when we're going to get that claim, unlike in CK2. We married our daughter off. So this guy actually came in, right? He was good at spy mastering. Why do you dislike me now? Oh, because now it's foreign culture. Oh, the short range penalty is what we got. I considered making my spy master. The thing is, we don't want spy masters that don't like us. But we can go ahead and sway him a bit. You can have one scheme running at a time. I don't know if that things have changed it, but normally you have one scheme running at a time. Could be assassination or something, but right now we're just gonna try to make him like us born. And if we get him to like us a decent amount, then we can go ahead and make him our spy master. I'm gonna speed up a little bit and just start accruing some things. It auto pauses on events, which is nice. Commander promoted. So that's event from our marshal's job. We can have Frothari here. Yeah, I'll take a 11 prowess, 17 martial person. Certainly. Serve me. That helps with our lack of knights. Seashell token from our first meeting. Much fonder memories of it than I do. Okay. I really didn't like her. Did I sell it? Wow. Is it because I'm cynical? I'm cynical, right? Yeah. Oh, my poor daughter has consumption. Do we have a court physician? We do not. Let's search for one now. Not that I care that much about my daughter, but... Wait, she's 20? Are you not married? Oh, you are. She's the one that got me the guy. Let's have a look for a physician. We can buy Aldegonde? Sure. Or Maraka here. Quite experienced. She's cheap. Why is she so cheap? Any good? Aldegonde? Oh, wait. Let me click it. She only has 11 learning, which is the stat that matters most. She's actually not horrible on the other stats, but she's not that great. She is a physician. I don't know if that actually influences how good she's at treating people, but it might. Feels like it should. And Maraka here, he's even worse at learning. He's an eager reveler. I'm gonna spend 25 to actually have somebody, and then tell her to do a cautious treatment. 5 years reduced disease, so certainly that's going to be enough. We suggested, succeeded and swayed Torgel here. He likes us a bit more now. I think if he's at +8, I can make him my spy master. He's going to like me for making him a counselor, so that should be fine. If I do that though, this mayor here, who is a powerful vassal, will no longer be on my council. And then he's going to be unhappy. That's kind of bad. Are you any good at anything else? You're an 11 steward, which is actually better than my baron here, but that's the same problem. And you are only good at stewarding. Yeah. I think I don't care enough about spy mastering at this moment that I need that. A reading in Trier. Yep. We like her more. Is that our liege? Yeah, liege goes to war. Duke Gottfried has declared war on Prince Bishop Siegfried over here, so he's trying to expand his own holdings, I suppose, which is fine by me. Now if we actually want to fight Aachen here with the amount of troops that they have, I think I want at least one more man-at-arms regiment. I'm going to hire another set of bowmen, since I have the money. This is an attack on the Empire, populist uprising. It's going to be fine. If you're playing in the Empire, there's constantly going to be wars of your liege. It's fine. Oh, I forgot I have to pay for the thing. I'm going to take the claim. It's very expensive. I'm probably going to get some negative events from having debt for a while. But hey, I'm in debt, I know. Oh, I can ask my head of faith for gold. You can always spend... I don't know if there's a cooldown on this. There might be. But we can spend 250 piety to ask the Pope for money. And he just likes us a little less. But that's going to decay per year. I'm just going to spend my faith so I'm not negative. Use the wealth wisely. And now we're actually okay. Wherever I go, my wife is sure to follow. I can keep her very close, and she might become my lover. Distraction for tonight. She's trying to seduce me, that's what's going on here. I see. Now I already have a son. The thing with heir is that having a spare is kind of useful. It's also kind of bad, because our land might get split. Now, if this guy dies, Bernard, for any reason, we still have Le Bovera and Siglhildes here to go back to. There's going to be a negative penalty on opinion because they have female rulers, but they're still heirs. Potential heirs if I don't have a male heir, so I kind of don't want another baby. So, honestly, Ansegund is here, and you're not very good, right? You don't have any... Oh, you're already pregnant? Gee. I'm just gonna end her scheme to seduce me. I don't want that. More children. I guess currently it wouldn't matter, but if she's my lover, it probably would matter. We're gonna have to put a cut in here before we get to declare our war. Because we're already almost 40 minutes in. It's the first episode, so it's fine. I usually try to keep my episodes to 30 minutes, and they do tend to go a bit over. Now we could, in theory, fabricate on Maastricht too and declare war for both. Which has a lot of positive things for it. But we don't have the money to pay for another claim at this time. And it's going to take a lot of extra time because this is not neighboring. So I feel like that's not what we want to do. I think next episode we're going to declare war on Count Gerhard of Aachen. Currently has less troops than before. Look at them buying light footmen. As expected, so we're going to have a bonus from our archers being better than their footmen. We're both kind of a similar spot. He's missing 60 right now, I'm missing 45. So I don't know that we gain much out of waiting. But next episode. We're going to declare war next episode. For now, thank you guys for watching. If you like what you're seeing, then please do hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Just so you know when there's new stuff coming up. Check out my other videos. Check out my EU4 stuff. And most importantly, come back. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.